Hey everyone, welcome to Cap at Home in Gold Detroit. Coming at you with another episode on this fun Wednesday. It's a wonderful day and it's so beautiful out. So if you have a chance to go outside or do this project outside, I highly recommend it. I'm really excited for our free art tutorial today. We are making watercolor cards. And I love making blank cards, just like cards, like homemade cards for anyone for any occasion. I just think they, kind of, mean a little bit more and are a little bit more heartfelt and, because we're all artists, so it's like fun to kind of, use all of our like abilities and techniques to create like such a beautiful card. So yeah, we're going to be making watercolor ones today. But quick shout out to the College for Creative Studies and the Community Education Commission of Detroit, as well as General Motors. They're our sponsors. Without them, like a lot of this isn't possible. We have such a huge archive of free art tutorials already from last year. So, you can find them here on Facebook, you can find them on Instagram or even YouTube. So let's just hop right in. Let me show you what we're making and all the different designs you can do and what we'll need to get started. So here we go. I definitely have all these awesome cards already here to show you. I'm super excited about them, obviously. I feel like once I start, I just like won't stop. So I have so many examples to show today. Different size cards, shape. Well, you can make them different shapes, absolutely, but I don't have that right here as an example, but just different occasions too. So this one's like a blank one. I feel like, we can do anything in here. And this one's always like thinking of you, and I wanted to create a color scheme of like warm and heartfelt, because it's like always thinking of you, and I just like feel like that's comforting to know. And I'm super excited to show you how to do this one today. I'm really into kind of like floral patterns and just like flowers. That's a reoccurring theme in a lot of things I've been creating lately. And this one's just blank, so this one is going to be kind of for anything. Here's a horizontal card, and these have flowers on them. This is fun too, and I kind of mixed, and I'll show you how we're going to be kind of mixing as a technique. This one's a really fun one. It's kind of inspired by eucalyptus, not really the entire eucalyptus shape. I hope one day maybe we can like figure out how we can, create like a scented card, here. I have some eucalyptus here on my table. Maybe I could just like rub it on there. But this is one of my favorite ones. I'll show you how we can create this one today. This one's like the largest card that I made, so you can make them like you've seen all sizes. But here, it's just like a simple happy birthday card. So yeah, let's hop right in and let me show you. So we will definitely need watercolor paper, or if you just have like a thicker paper, that works too. So I have quite a bit of different size sheets, even like a small square one. And you'll need watercolors today, a water cup with a watercolor brush. If you have different brushes, I'm going to show you too a different technique using a different size brush or style brush. Just in case, something to work on. I have some paper towel, some scissors if you need to cut down your paper to a different size, and then I have a pen, a Sharpie, and a pencil with me too. I do also have a paper plate just to show you, it kind of has like this wax feel on it, but how we can mix our colors today. So, if you need a ruler to cut anything down, do that too. So here are this was a full sheet of paper, I think 9 by 12, and I cut it right in half. So I'm going to then just, kind of fold this in half to make my card. Trying to line it up as best as you can. And then what I'm going to do, just to make sure that my card's going to stay down, is I'm going to just take the back of my scissors here, and this is a nice little scoring tool and technique, just to make sure that my fold will be nice and flat. So there's like my first card. So if you want to, you can start off by just like making a few cards and folding them in half. It's up to you, and if you have like a certain occasion you already need to kind of create one for, definitely do that too. So You know, I really like these smaller ones, especially depending on maybe like the size of the gift that you're making, or if you're gifting, you know, just a card with something inside, just like a note. But if you have like a small gift, like jewelry, if you need to fit it on the box, I think like these are so fun to kind of make and create. So this one, or if you want just like a one-sided, you know, like one piece of paper card, like that's really fun too. But yeah, and I really like these too because, you know, you can make them all kinds of sizes. So doing that one, I'm gonna just take that, and this one I think I'm gonna keep. I like it. Kind of so you have to open it up and down instead of side to side. So I'm just folding them and putting them off to the side. And yes, so the first card that I would love to show you how we can create is this one. And this one I'm going to just make it a little smaller because this one is just a little bit smaller, so I won't have as much room, and that's okay. But I want to decide my colors. So what I did is I kind of kept this cool tones, different shades of blues here. So maybe I want to do something a little different, and instead of using the blues, maybe, or I can go more of like blue greens. So you know, you just want to wet your paper, and I think I'm gonna go maybe, wet your paint. You're gonna wet the paint, and I'm gonna just take, kind of go in maybe a warm tone. So I'm gonna just take some of my paint there, and going with my red here. So I'm gonna take some of my paint and put it on my paint, my paper plate, get it nice and saturated with water. And I want to have this red. So what you can do too, if you'd like, you can take your pencil, and instead of doing, I did 9 colors over there, I'm gonna, I think, just do 4 here. So I can lightly just kind of draw where I'm going to place my you know, paint, just lightly. I'm just sketching it lightly, and that's kind of fun with what you're drawing. So I'm going to take this and saturate it, and so I want to get some more color, so I'm going to just take it, not get any more water, but just because the paint's already saturated enough, I'm going to just take it, you see, and just go ahead and draw on it. So I'm doing basically a wet to dry technique here with my watercolor. You know, my paper is dry and just the brush is wet here, and if you want to, you can get it a little more wet to kind of create that more, not such harsh corners. So I'm going to do that. Okay, perfect. So now I kind of want to make it like a reddish orange. So I'm going to just wash my brush there. I'm going to saturate my orange. I'm going to really douse that. Really saturate it. Really saturate it. And place it here on my paint. This is basically my paint palette, my paper plate paint palette. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead here and take some of my red and mix it with my orange. Take a little bit more red here, maybe a little bit more orange, and really kind of mix it up. And perfect. So that's a really nice, I think, red orange in the making here. Yeah, that's really pretty. A nice saturated color. Beautiful. We can make even a little bit more orange. Oof, I like it. Super beautiful. So I love, you know, watercolors because they're so versatile. You can really kind of make any color that you're looking for. And I think that's really important, especially when you're like a mixed media artist or anything like that. It's a lot of fun. So now I kind of want to, you know, create a less saturated version of these. So I'm just going to take my really wet brush and just paint here with that. So it's not going to be as saturated with color. So it just, you know, to make it less saturated with color and less bold of a color is you just would like more water in with your color than your actual color. So I'm not going to go back to my paint palette. I'm just going to stay right here with this. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to just take a little bit of color. Boom. A little bit of color. A little bit. More water, less color. And it's okay that my pencil mark is showing because with what I'm thinking about and deciding on what I want to do later once it dries, and so I can draw on it like that. So beautiful. Now we can set this off to the side to dry. So like I said, this is a process, and that's what's really nice about it, and that's why it is a process, is because you can, you know, take your time, really let it dry, but always continue making them. But if you have a hair dryer or anything with you or around, you can definitely use that too, to help kind of like quickly go ahead and work with your watercolors, just so they'll dry a little quicker. So, you know, now if we want to do like that fun little striped one from earlier, I'm going to just take my brush, I'm going to wet my paint here, I'm going to go with green, just like my fun stripes. Make sure I'm not grabbing too much. I'm going to just wipe it here on my palette, and I'm going to just lightly go across and try to stay as straight as I can. Oof, I love this green color. So this is fun if you want to start, you know, started gradually changing the color. You know, I'm going to take the next green that I have, or if I want to mix it with another color, like if I want to mix, you know, these two colors together, which I'm going to do here. It's kind of creating a nice fun color, and I'm just going to take my line very gently, try and keep my hand steady as I can, and I'm just making two colors of each. Beautiful. Gosh, these are some of my favorite colors. So I'm going with like the deeper green. Beautiful. And here. Ooh, I like so much. Yep. So I'm going to maybe grab some of my blue, kind of make a more bluish green at the end here. And I think there I'm just going to create one stripe like that. So I think this one would be a very nice like plain card. I love it. Green is one of my favorite colors. I feel like it can go with a lot of things. It's very bright and fun. But now let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how I created a happy birthday card, making just like a watercolor cake. So if you want to, you know, you can make your cake all different colors or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with my cake first, and I'm going to make like multiple layers. So I'm just going to take red here. I think this is more of the reddish orange. Red. And maybe I'm going to make a rainbow cake. So I'm going to take yellow. And I'm leaving space. I'm not mixing them together because I want those layers to really kind of show and pop. Orange. I kind of went out of line, but that's okay. Orange, yellow. I'm going to go maybe with the darker green. And I'm going to end with blue. Maybe saturate it a little bit more. Lovely. So now I want to make the bottom base. So you can take your brown and, you know, basically like this stand that we're creating, I'm just going to lightly, and I'm trying to go as delicately, so I'm not trying to get those colors to bleed or kind of blend at all, just so. And I'm still using the dry paper wet brush technique. So I'm not saturating my paper with water or anything. I'm just going ahead doing that. And I'm going to just take that delicately. Making these lines here. Maybe get some more brown here. More saturated color there. Perfect. And so now I'm going to make my candles. Basically, you know, we're creating all these and they're just not touching one another. Just so then the colors will not bleed together, which I think is very, very important. I'm going to go ahead and grab some pink and just make a few candles. Delicately, I'm not saturating this brush with a lot of the pink color, just because I want them to be light. But I'm going to take some yellow to make some little flames. And I'm just creating a little dot. Doesn't need to be large. And that's the beauty of it too, is it's going to dry. and it's going to be a nice little color. So you see here, Mikey. Yes, perfect. So we can put this off to the side to dry. So you can see like where you can just like create. It's like really amazing, like all of the different, you know, types and styles of cards you can really truly make. You know, especially with like all the occasions and everything to do, it's very fun to create such like heartfelt card. You know, it's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna just take one of my dry ones here. Or first I'm gonna take my dry for like this last, you know, little card I want to show you here. This is fun. What I did here is I laid out the card entirely and created just these patterns going through different colors. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this dry brush and maybe just stamp some of the colors on here. So like this brush is a little different. It's not as bristly, you know, as you know, the other one is, but this will be a lot of fun to kind of mix. And what I did is saturated and desaturated the brush, and I'm mixing the colors. So if you want just like a soft and subtle look, you know, to your card, this is like something fun to play with too, especially with different kinds of brushes. So if you don't have a watercolor brush, it's not the end of the world. I'm just mixing the colors now here too. Ooh, I kind of like how this is turning out. Maybe less water and just a little bit more color. Just a little color. Boop, boop, boop. Perfect. Wipe that off. And now I'm going to let this dry so I can do it to the other side once I'm done. But yeah, so now we can take one of my dry cards, ones that I haven't finished. And, you know, with the black marker, I always like to add like little accents, you know. So like if we're going to create these petals, like I can kind of outline these petals. It just kind of creates like a really nice like effect, like an outline, kind of a really nice polished look of these, you know, too, especially if you're following along the lines of, you know, like a lot of maybe the paint or like the drawings that you've already made. Like with the color, it's a lot of fun to kind of, you know, go ahead and like detail out the petals and the flowers, you know. So you can think about what maybe card this could be good for. Like I hope maybe like for a birthday, or just like if you want to tell someone something really nice. I think, you know, these kinds of cards are really fun to make and to kind of gift. So these are really, really fun. And this is like a really fun part too, because you can kind of really make a lot of detail or change it up with your detail, you know, which I think is like really important as an artist to be like, you know. So, and then inside you can write your message. So you can, you know, create it with watercolor or like your Sharpie or your black marker. It's really, you know, there are so many endless things, and you can really kind of add to that too. So let's go back to this one here. It's not entirely dry. You know, we wanna, if we're gonna draw on these, you know, we want it to be entirely dry, and like that's what I did on this one. Is after it dried entirely, I just went ahead and started to doodle like my different flowers and things. But yeah, so, you know, I'm going to let it dry a little bit more, and especially for these two. But you can really see like all the different varieties that I've created, and had such a good time doing that. So, you know, if you followed along today and you made your own special cards, you know, I would love to see them. My entire team would love to see them. You know, in the description, you can email it to us. And you can even comment or post them. You know, we would love to see, because we would love to share them. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. I had a lot of fun. I'm actually going to finish creating a lot of these because I think it's very, you know, like therapeutic. You know, my mind and my hand will just go, and it's so much fun. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Stay tuned for, you know, tomorrow with Miss Van. She's creating a really cool mosaic. and ocean mosaic, and check out the rest of our archive. You know, there's so many fun things with different varieties of materials that you can create. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.